Okay, if gods do not die, they're somewhere. Now, this is Metamorphosis. This was written by Ovid, O-V-I-D, and this is about the time of Julius Caesar. Now, he wrote a bazillion books here, 15 different books. The creation, ages of mankind, the flood, Deucalion, who was Noah, all the way down. All the way down till Julius Caesar when he died. Now, he starts right off the first two lines of his 12,000 line epic work. Lines 1 and 2. Metamorphosis is the transformation underlying theme amongst the episodes of Metamorphosis. Ovid raises its significance explicitly in the opening lines of the poem. In nova fert animus mutatas dicere formas corpora, I intend to speak of forms changed into new entities. Transition, metamorphosis, like a caterpillar into a butterfly. Well, guess what this was? Accompanying this theme of transformation is often violence inflicted upon a victim whose transformation becomes part of the natural landscape. You're a mountain. You're a statue. And they could do it and they don't die. All right? Accompanying this theme is often violence. Okay, we got through that. Now, there's a great variety among the types of transformations take place, from human to inanimate objects, like the Nile River, constellations, animals, plants, ants, funguses, mushrooms, one sex to another, hyenas, colored pebbles. And they say it was just, he was just making up these little things that metatextual, they don't really mean anything. No, they mean something. They could do that. And they did. They transformed a lot of creatures, I'm finding them all over the place, that turned into stone. And the blood is still inside of them, but the outside casing, somehow they caused all of that outside flesh, the exterior part of your body, to instantly solidify. I mean, they posed them just exactly the way they want them, and pow, done. All right, there is many depths of tissue everywhere in their body, and some of them have deep roots in them and so forth. But we're going to be looking at some of these tendons and straps that come down inside your body proper. You don't really know about all these little special spots and so forth that, very few people know how complex the body is. Let's just go with that. It's complex. Now, can we see that in any of the statues that I say maybe were alive? Yeah, we can. All right, this is supposedly made somewhere 1500s or something like that. Maybe. You see that right there? To me, that's a tendon. And this is exactly what you'd expect to see, is the tissue surrounding it, which is broken off and coming out of there. And what you have left is a chunk of the tendon. Now, the texture of the skin is kaolin clays. I can't get really close enough into this to see any better, but I can see somebody try to patch it here. And I'm seeing some colors of, this is the colors I would expect to see of the facial skin. Now, I know they say, oh, this was made such and such a time. Well, there's one they say was made in 1910. Let me show you that one. Because I say, oh, no, you just got to read it up. Go read about it. I said, well, wait a minute. Let's look at the evidence. Then, because I look at what I can see. I'm seeing something here that makes me think this guy was alive. And Ovid wrote about it. They said they could do it. And the gods could do it just like that. Gods don't die. They're around somewhere. They were doing this, I think. And when I show you the other one, this was supposed to be from 1910. Now, I find it hard to believe. I don't know what to think about that one. Let me show you what it is. You make your own determination. Okay, this is kind of a blurry shot, but it doesn't matter. He's in his entirety here. And he's holding up this big clamshell. Now, I think it was World War II maybe World War I, they bombed here, and it broke him up a little bit. And I'll show you what happened to him. He started bleeding, and he's got tendons inside and everything. I'll show you. You make your own determination. All right, so he got pretty well blown up. The dish is gone, all that stuff. His arm is blown off. His leg is blown up. His other leg is blown off. Now, you have to understand biology and anatomy. This is the muscle around the bone and all of that business that would come down to make your arm. That's how it's built. There's a whole batch of different muscles and tendons and the whole shooting match. Very complicated little device. Now, that's number one. That was cut off after the bombing blast. Now, what about this? What about his leg? That looks like somebody made a mold there and built it. But guess what? This is actually tendon. All right, now take your time and look at it. Don't let your mind fog over. This whitish looking stuff, follow my feather pointer here, all the way up. And this is his kneecap. I'm telling you, and I will show you anatomically, I am not wrong. This is red blood, and that, of course, is red blood. And his foot down at the bottom is dripping blood out of here. And from his toes out of here. Caesar, you got to move, buddy. All right, so you see what I've been showing you here. That was after the bombing, and they tried to fix him up. They put some metal patches in here, and they just did a terrible job. It didn't work. But remember this tendon. Don't forget, that's the outline of that strap, and it is one hell of a strap. And here it is, if I can find it. Boom. You see that? Do you see any difference there? If you do, don't go into medicine or anatomy or anything that you have to look and see and understand. That's the tendon. It's the same thing. That's how it comes over the kneecap. It's wrinkled up. And it runs right down to his foot, which is literally blown off. One of them isn't. I'll show you. I got some other shots. They're very grainy. They're nasty looking, but it's the best I can do. Here's another shot of him. And I'm seeing stuff that I'm seeing as biology. There's some grass is trying to grow down into the blood that's inside. Now I say, why blood? You see this is white looking here, his thigh, and this one is black. You see, why would that be? Why would this be white and that one black if it was a living creature? Well, first of all, we do have some blood leaking down here because it would drain down this way. This one is crushed. And you say, what do you mean crushed? I say, well, he's leaning. This leg is relaxed compared to this one. This one's up, and you got tension on the muscle blowing the blood out. And there's blood coming out of here and blood coming out of here. It's just oozing through. And I show other shots where well, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. All right, now this is just a terrible shot, but it's as best I can do. This is from the Il Gigante, the one that was holding up the big dish. And this black is from where the blood has come to the surface because he's exercising that muscle, he's pushing. Same thing down here, that's his calf muscle. Now his leg was blown off, and here's the foot over here. And that thing just leaked blood. You see, this is all biological, actually blood being forced to the surface. When they're under tension like this, it appears, the blood will go to the muscles and they leak blood out of them. All right, here's another shot I found pretty interesting. There's his foot. And it's, as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason for that to be red blood. And blood is red, and it's iron oxides. It's there, dripping off his foot. You see up at the top there? There's red coming out of his foot, dripping down, and then puddling at the bottom there. What it is what it is. Now, this is what they say about it. It was built and carved, 14-meter tall statue, and this was supposed to be in 1910. And it was originally intended to hold a large trident and seashell, which I showed you it did. But it lost them during World War II bombing raids. Then the villa was destroyed by the bombs. The statue was moved to the cliffs in 1950. So that's what they say. It looks to me like it's biological. And Ovid said that they could do it just like that. And they did it all the time, the gods. And gods don't die. So maybe he called on a god and said, hey, I can make me a statue, and he did. I don't know anything about this. I don't know where it is. I have it called Colossus Angel. But, you know, that's pretty neat. I don't know if it means anything, but it's going to be a good thumbnail. Don't forget, Ovid said they did it basically just for fun. Remember I told you how blood turns black when it puddles somewhere? Well, look at this. It puddled out on his arm. He's strangling a dog or a little, I don't know what he's got. A little dragon or something. The other one was strangling a dragon. And this is his leg here. It looks like concrete. I can't deny that, but I think this might be the blood that's running off. And all of this moss is indicative of body fluids running off. It turns mossy, just like what he's got here. And just like Ovid said, this is the garden of the gods. They had a whole batch of these things all over the place. They did it just for fun, for decoration. Okay, I've shown you Typhon, I've shown you the fish. If you haven't seen it, pay attention. These creatures are 1,100 miles long, almost 1,200, I think. They would have creatures living on them that would be just stunningly large. Maybe like ticks like that, only they would be a little bit bigger than that. They'd be something looking like this. There's a kid's legs back here. That's a pretty good sized tick or flea, although it's not exceptionally big. For these other creatures, they would have never even an idea. You wouldn't be able to pick that off of a monster 1,200 miles long. You would never know. It would be like bacteria. And it's just the way it is. That's the way things were back then. I can't explain it. All I can show is the evidence. These are hearts. This is a heart muscle. You see this? This is cardiac muscle. These little blocks, that's those. In between is the connective tissues. It's white in here, it's black in here, but that's what it is. This is, I can't remember, Nissen National Park. But this is real, this is not a joke. I'm going to be going over more and more and more until we finally get this out and people start accepting it as being our reality. There's so much you can understand for this and learn from this about mineral resources and about areas that are being destroyed. Right now, there's a town collapsing down in Brazil. It's built on a heart. It's going to wash out. Red blood does not solidify to speak of. It will eventually rehydrate, and it's running out right underneath their feet. So it's time to pay attention to this. I love you all. Stay tuned.